I'm what I wanna, innovate what I'm gonna. You can hate all you wanna, but you're still in your pajama. Now I ain't a prima donna, but I built what I wanna. You can say my vision's wrong, the tune of my song. Broke my thumb, bang into my own drum. Broke my thumb, bang into my own drum. Broke my thumb, bang into my own drum. Hootin' and clapping, boots I am a strapping, a click click clacking. Hurrah! Bootstrapping in America. Yeah, bootstrapping in America.
Christy, we're back. Bootstrapping in America.
Welcome to Bootstrapping in America, where we interview some of the hottest entrepreneurs in Chicago and beyond. Our guests today are the owners of Bricks Wood-Fired Pizza. After trying wood-fired pizza in San Diego, they decided to open one up here in Chicago. 13 years later, they have 7 restaurants, a food truck, and are looking to expand even further. Please welcome Rick Gruber Jr. and Bill Wilson. Thanks for coming on, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
So I'm going to start out with a little bit of your background, because I think it's sort of interesting how ultimately you guys came together. So Bill, why don't we start with you?
Okay.
Just talk about like a little bit of your background, where you came from, what type of experience you had like in the restaurant business.
Well, my background in food actually started out of college in the late '70s. Okay, I worked my way through school in a bar restaurant, and kind of had a really knack for it. I went to work nationally for the Shoney's Corporation, and was part of their development group down in Florida. Worked that for about 3 or 4 or 5 years, and then had a calling to come home to Chicago to kind of help out in the family printing business.
That's them calling right now.
Please come back. Anyway, before Bricks, I was the finance director for Volvo Vogue Park. And then, as the intro said, we were on a family vacation. I ended up in San Diego, out in California. I had my first taste of a brick oven pie at Sammy's Wood-Fired Pizza. Could not get it out of my head. I was mesmerized by the oven, the operation, the taste, everything. And 4 years later, with help from my son Ryan, who's a restaurant architect, we came up with the Bricks concept.
That is awesome, and I want to talk about that more because I love the idea of sort of the brick oven, which you don't see all that often. Mm-hmm. So and actually, Rick, why don't you give us a little bit of your background?
Yeah, so I'm actually an IP attorney. So you guys know I was here before for another company that I started, Brandless. I sort of went out of the practice full time and went into doing a lot of branding and marketing and putting together those types of things for companies. And as I was sitting there thinking, one of my bigger clients is my own family's business, and was enjoying doing that, number one. And number two, with helping everyone else grow their companies through all the things that I was able to do for them with real products, real services, just being kind of in the consultant capacity got a little boring. And I wanted to actually make something, again, that I could actually see someone enjoy or buy, and it's something tangible. So just being in the tech space all the time, it's you can't actually see people enjoying or utilizing your product all the time. Whereas pizza is sort of international, where you can see people, no matter what language or where they're from, they can sit down and enjoy it. So I just wanted to.
It brings families together for sure.
It
Even
does.
though they don't speak to each other anymore, pizza, everybody can grab a slice. It makes it easy.
Yeah.
It's closing in on the burgers for the #1 food sold in the U.S. I'm telling you,
Very
right
nice.
behind.
It's definitely my number one. I prefer pizza over a burger any day.
Us too.
Yeah. So how are the two of you related?
Well, Rick is my stepson, all right, and he talked a little bit about how he got involved, but he really got involved when he was in high school and college, because every break that he had, he was working in the stores, helping the family business, because it was at first it was a slow growth. I mean, when I came back to Chicago and started this in 2006, there were only 5 brick ovens in all of Chicagoland. So it was introducing something new, but we knew we had a winner. Mm-hmm. It was so different and so good. Yes, it was new to Chicago, but to Italy it wasn't. It was 2,500 years old. Right. So that took a while, and it took a lot of family help to keep it going until it caught on. Today, I can tell you that there are probably over 150 brick ovens in the Chicagoland area, because this is the new way to enjoy pizza.
That is great. So just thinking about bringing pizza to Chicago, right? I mean,
yeah, it was deep dish capital, and you're bringing what? Oh, okay.
We used to wait an hour for a pizza. You're gonna have one ready in like 10 minutes or something.
No,
sure.
once this goes in the oven, it's 90 seconds later, and you've got a product.
Right.
That's the
awesome.
best.
And I actually like. I probably shouldn't say this out loud, but I actually like thin crust way better than deep dish. So, but did that make you a little bit nervous? Going, I'm opening a pizza joint in Chicago. Like, why Chicago?
Well, number one, that's where we live, and we were in the suburbs, so it wasn't really downtown. And I just had a vision that this thing was going to really take off because it was so good. And I'm not going to tell you I was a foodie, but I was in the business, so I know a good thing when I see it. It just like everything in the Midwest, California gets it, the East Coast gets it. We're always the last to get it. So we got it now.
There you go. And how long did you take, like, to perfect the recipe?
Well, probably I worked probably for about 1.5 years before we even opened the store for recipes. We had a family vacation actually to Naples, so I did all the R&D that one could possibly do before we kicked off, and went to some seasoned veteran chefs for help, and they were kind enough to kind of push me along. So
that is awesome. That's awesome. So Rick, coming into the family business, right? Was there like a moment, like you talked about it a little bit, about saying you wanted to see tangible things be made and enjoyed, but was there like a moment or something that sparked it that you said, I have to make the leap now?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's always things that sort of timing is everything. We had 3 stores, and the first store was now coming up to 11, 12 years old at the time. The second store was going into its 5th year. The third store was coming into its 4th year, and everything was kind of smooth. And then, they had the idea to continue to open stores, and things were just growing at a really fast rate. And I knew the amount of work that takes, and we had never really done that where, we had spread those first stores out over a period of time, so he was able to be there a lot. When you have 2 more open or 3 more open in the span of 16 months, you can't be in all 3 of those every single day, all day long, to make sure that everything's being done right. So I knew that it was going to spread us pretty thin, and I already had all the other things I was doing, and they were just multiplying as we added stores. So it was like, I'm not going to be able to handle my other clients or be able to handle all this stuff. And then I just had a fortunate opportunity with the office that we had. Someone wanted it at the day after I had that thought in my head, and I said, well, I guess if I can get out of the office now, this is the time to go. So it kind of happened a little sooner than I expected, but we needed it because I've been in the stores also on the operations side, managing stores as we open them because we just need people.
That's awesome, and you set the quality standards, right? Like
yeah.
you know how to do it right, and you set the quality standards up front. So what about the food truck? So what was the reason and rationale for the food truck, and where do you guys park it? Because I need to make sure I drive by.
Well, it was just in Oak Park, so you just missed it on Saturday. We actually, our first event was a block party there, and it went. Rick manned the truck with a couple others, and it ran. Reports are that it went really well. I wasn't there that night, but a couple years ago, in the industry, you always want to keep up with what's going on with the pizza periodicals and whatever. And I've seen the pizza trucks once again out west, and had a couple conversations with my director of operations. He was for it, Rick was for it, and we also have somebody in the family that's an engineer that builds things. So we contacted him and told him what we wanted, and 3 months later, we had a wood-fired mobile food truck we call Bricks on Wheels. So
I like
it's terrific.
that.
Yeah, I mean, and I saw, obviously I lived in the Bay Area for a while, so I saw them sort of popping up and the trends starting. But, and now obviously the Midwest is caught up where people are accepting it here and it's becoming a cultural thing here as well. But my favorite one that was in San Francisco was one of the pizza ones, and it was actually started by a trademark or an IP lawyer from New York who got sick of it, left, and opened it up there. So when I saw that, I was like, that's me. So, we should do that as well. And I think the difference for us with the truck is we have brick and mortar stores. A lot of people are doing it the opposite way, where the truck is their way into the industry, and then they will use that revenue to go and their brand, development to go out and then open up a brick and mortar. We're doing it sort of the opposite way. So for bookings and stuff, it's coming a little bit easier for us in that sense, because we already have a brand. You already know us, so you're not thinking, oh, what's this truck going to be like when it comes? What kind of food? But if you know Bricks, you eat at our stores, you're already going to get the truck and know the quality. So we have an oven just like the one in our Oak Park store inside the truck. So the quality.
You need some extra suspension then, because that's a
it's
a heavy oven.
Yeah, so that's where Austin came in. We left that to him because that's above our pay grade.
and two things I want to mention about the truck. One is when someone comes up to the window and orders one, remember, once it's in the oven, it's 90 seconds. So they're not waiting 8, 10, 15 minutes for their product. It's in, it's out. They've got a Neapolitan pizza hot out of the oven in about 3 minutes. So for that, it's just a terrific experience for them.
So and when you have like a lunch crowd or a busy event at a festival and you have a line, we're not waiting for the orders to come in. We're stretching the dough. We're getting them on the prep table. So as fast as they're getting made, you have the next ones lined up, even though if the ticket hasn't come through yet. Because then you're just building and going in. That process, like you said, is only going to take 2 minutes with cooking plus building it. With people who know our menu and are quick. We're all pretty quick that are going to be on the truck.
Yeah.
So when you're doing that, you're getting your lunch in 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Hot out of the oven with the same quality that you have in our stores. I think that's a winner.
And the crazy thing, when we got into this, Rick went ahead and put it on Facebook probably 3 weeks before we even got the truck. Before we even had the truck, we had 20 reservations, and we didn't even have a truck yet. So that's how popular this thing's going to be.
Call it a high-class problem.
Yeah. It's a good problem to have.
It's like maybe we did have a good idea here.
There you go. So let's talk about your menu a little bit, because you guys have like a special pizza of the month, and I've had this and I love it, but I'm still gonna taste it because I want to see your reaction.
Very good. Really good.
I love it because it's that thin, the thin crunchy crust with I love it, just the right amount of ingredients. So talk about your menu and what else you have besides pizza, but also talk about the special pizza of the month.
Well, I'll start and then I'll let him go, because this is something that we're making a conscious effort of starting now, to let everyone know about the difference between our pizzas and other people that have sort of, ridden the coattails into the wood-fired space or the brick oven space. The majority of our products are all imported from Italy.
Well, I was just going to tell you, the olive oil just tasted great just among the cheese is wonderful, but the olive oil is really good.
All from Italy. Most of our cheeses, other than our buffalo mozzarella, is grande. It's the best in the industry. Our flour, we're importing it from Italy. So we're doing a lot of things to the highest standard, traditional Neapolitan in much of our recipes. However, we do veer off and we do some things that are authentically us. Like we have pineapple and chicken and stuff.
Yeah, I noticed that. I was going to talk to you about it. I was going to say, if you're going to want me involved in your business, you can't go with the pineapple. The chipotle sauce on there.
I would never eat it. Never eat it, but we have a lot of customers that request it, so we add it. But it's one of those things that if you were a 100% Neapolitan restaurant, you would never find that there. But we have to have it, because one of our best pizzas is the barbecue chicken, and you would not find chicken in a traditional Neapolitan pizza.
Right.
But it's one of my favorites as well. Then we have sandwiches that we make. Our bread is all par-baked, so when we put it in the oven, it's all toasted. It finishes it off. All of our meat is from Boar's Head. And I always, when we do our pizza making class and stuff, I go, you know why most restaurants don't serve Boar's Head meat?
It's East Coast, right? Or is it?
There's one other reason.
I don't know.
Because it's really expensive.
Yeah,
But we don't.
You'll see it in delis, but you won't see it in restaurants.
It's one of the things that we don't care, though, because we know it's the best. And if we went to the deli, what are we going to buy to feed our family at home? So that's the quality that we bring to the restaurant. So our sandwiches are, I think, our hidden secret, that when people start finding that, our lunch business builds up very fast, because we do have those, and then we have fresh made salads, and we have a killer 6-7 salad options. So you have, when someone's coming for lunch and it's like, pizza's maybe a little heavy for lunch today. I'm going to wait till Thursday or Friday to do that. The sandwiches and salads certainly make up for
You
it.
put most of your sandwiches in the oven too?
We do. Yeah. I mean, we have some cold ones. So as we have a tuna, we got a chicken salad, we get the Roma tomato, and fresh mozzarella. When you make that, you're not going to warm that up.
Of course.
The bread, yes, but not the.
Yeah. But we the rest of our sandwiches are.
Just that
toasted.
smoky flavor from the bricks is good on a sandwich.
Yep.
Sorry, Christy, go ahead.
No, that's okay. My dad actually came up with a pizza brick on the side, and he couldn't perfect it. It was 40 years ago. I think it was, but and it kept breaking in the oven. so that business idea didn't pan out. But we too loved the taste of the pizza on the bricks. So what does your expansion plan look like in the next couple of years?
Well, we've got it's kind of exciting. We've got our first out-of-state location opening in Clearwater, Florida, the first quarter of next year, and we have, thanks to a lot of help from my ex-attorney's son, we sold our first franchise.
Wow! Oh, there you go. Congratulations.
To a group that are going to open a store in downtown Elgin. So with that in mind, right on the river, right on Riverwalk. So that's kind of where it's headed, where we'd like to see it headed. Yes.
So what made you decide to start to franchise? Because I feel like that's a big decision to make when you're building out a restaurant.
Well, it sure is, because there's a lot of infrastructure that you need for that. A lot of T's crossed and I's dotted, and you have to have your feathers together when you do that. And but the issue is we've got people coming to us, and there isn't any way to get them involved if they want to get involved other than that. Yes, we've got a couple partners in the store, but you get stores, but in locations, but you can't have partner. You can't have them everywhere. So it just evolved to franchising.
Mm-hmm. So what about you talked about this a little bit before with other entrepreneurs starting with the trucks, right? So they could actually build up enough capital to open a brick and mortar store. But did you guys raise capital to start with the brick and mortar stores, or did you just basically pull together from friends, family, and yourself?
I had a loving wife that had confidence in me, and we put every nickel that we had, second mortgage on the house, the whole deal, to start Bricks.
Wow. That's awesome. That's awesome.
So we're actually a debt-free company as well.
Wow, bootstrapped from the beginning. Yeah. That is awesome. That's a big kudos, because I think that's not an easy task, especially when you look at where you are now with seven plus stores.
And as we've gone on now, we have partners in some of the newer stores that have put capital into those individual locations, but every one of them is debt free. Mm-hmm. So I mean that's been the sort of the model. Mm-hmm. And the big thing for the franchising going forward was, no, this is our area. This is where we live. This is where the areas we know. We have a relationship with a lot of these towns we're in. I went to high school in Oak Park. He used to work in Oak Park, and we would go through there every day. I love that town, and I live there now with my wife. And then they live in Naperville, but we used to play sports out there all the time, and in Wheaton and in Lombard, and we lived in Elmhurst. So we have a relationship with these places that we're at. Mm-hmm. And the idea with the franchising is because it's really hard, to put yourself in all those places and manage them and operate stores, particularly if you don't have a connection with the neighborhood, or you're not familiar with it, but other people are. Mm-hmm. So if you're from, everyone always says, when are you coming to the South Side? When are you going to come? And we're like, I've been to Orland Park maybe twice in my life. I don't know anything about it. But if someone's there and they have the same sort of dream and passion that we have, but they don't know where to start, that's where it's going to be. Is we're going to look for people who want to make that their family business, mm-hmm. and not just look for someone that wants to make an investment and then just open up a bunch of stores, because that won't work. Mm-hmm. It has to come in where Christy comes in and she sees me at the store and she's like, "Oh, it's Rick. I know they're here. Mm-hmm. They're paying attention." That's how you. The only way, systems are great, but it's the people that are overseeing things and making sure that the quality stays there, because we want that family feel in every store, whether it's a franchise or a corporate store.
And that's a prerequisite. If you're going to buy a franchise, you have to work the franchise. You have to be involved in the store. And the Bricks, going back to the very first one, I actually wanted this cafe, and I wanted these cafes to be small. And I wanted them to be in downtowns. I wanted to be kind of like Cheers, where everybody knows your name. And I was in my store for 4 years, open to close every day, because it was my store and everybody knew everybody. And that's the community involvement that's so important, for entrepreneurs or small businesses starting out. So that's what we're still trying to do, even with the franchise. We don't want to see a Bricks in a strip center. We want to see it in an Oak Park on Oak Avenue.
And that's the same thing with the truck.
Yeah.
It's to allow us to get out to more people. I mean, we went to the block party, and there was only 60 people there, but that's 60 people, and only 3 of them had ever been to a Bricks.
That's awesome.
And they're less than a mile away from our store. And they were like, oh, I didn't know this was family operated. This pizza's so good. And my wife's in the window talking to everyone. They see me up there making pies.
Make a connection.
Now there's a connection. Now they're like, we're going to go over there and give it a try. And then we got a shot at them, right? So we got to do a good job once we get them in the store.
Then the product sells them.
The product has to sell them.
Yep.
And that's
Keeps
the thing.
them coming back.
And that's the thing with the truck that was the biggest thing for us. And then also, if you have the same way, you have other areas of the country that are really big in food trucks, but people don't know where to start. We may be looking down the line for someone that says, hey, I want to open up a Bricks on Wheels in Colorado or Texas or California, because we're not going to be there. But that might be a less expensive way for someone to get in and start their business, plant their flag there, and then move into brick and mortar after that. So, that's sort of the idea, is to prove that model works as well.
So I'm gonna go personal for just 1 second.
Sure.
So you guys know each other pretty well. And so I want to know from you, Bill, what Rick's favorite pizza is. And Rick, I want to know from you what Bill's favorite pizza is.
Well, I can tell you 2 things. One, he's got a favorite sandwich. I even named it after him, Rick's Club, okay? But his favorite pizza is one that we kind of made up in-house. It's called the Heart Attack. and it's got pepperoni, it's got spicy sausage, it's got giardiniera on it, it's got onions on it, it's got bacon on it. Everything,
everything you need on a pizza.
Is that one in front of you?
No, that's called the Bricks.
Okay.
Yeah.
I stopped eating that one after like 28. that one really packs it on.
Yeah.
But yeah, in college I used to eat that one all the time. That still is my favorite for sure.
That is awesome. And what's Bill's favorite?
At Bricks, I'm going to say his favorite is probably, I've seen him eat the most of the Bricks. He loves it. He calls it the garbage pizza, where you have the mushrooms, sausage, red onion on there. It's sort of the garbage pizza, and I would think that's probably his favorite.
Yep.
That is awesome. That is awesome. So I'm going to throw in one last question. And if you were to give one piece of advice to somebody starting out and creating a restaurant, what would that one piece of advice be?
You better like what you're doing. The restaurant business is not a job. You have to have, I don't want to say I'm going to say it, a passion for it. You've got to really like what you're doing, because the hours, everything else that goes with it, you just have to love what you're doing.
It's your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And Rick?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the same thing, is that it's definitely it's a lifestyle. And it's a very different one. We talk about entrepreneurs all the time, and you have a lot of people, even on this show and in the Fun Conference, all these places where I'm an entrepreneur and I work all these hours and whatever. It's different. I did that, and it's not the same. It's not the same amount of effort. It's not the same amount of hours. Those hours are really different when you have people in your face. And if you're the owner or the operator or manager, whatever it is, you're dealing with your team. So you're managing people, you're managing customers, you're managing product. So like you said, you really have to have a passion for what you're doing, because in many cases it's not going to be about the money. And if it was, you're in probably the wrong business, because it's not always going to work out that way. You have to be in it, even if you're making just a normal salary. You're not making millions of dollars out of every single store. That's never going to happen. So you really have to understand that. And it's weekends. And it's nights, the times that you're the busiest. So you have to learn how to balance it.
Do I have time for one short anecdote?
Yes, please do.
I just remember this because it's always been fresh in my mind. Second year that we were open, January, cold as snot outside, and guy comes in about 7:30 at night. We close at 9. Comes up to the counter, really gruff. I mean, he was just, whatever kind of day he was having, it wasn't the greatest day. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Sat down and was eating his pizza. I was behind the counter with my main guy, Jose, and just trying to do some pre-closing things. And all of a sudden, he looks up the counter and says, "Hey, do you own this place?" And I said, "Yeah. Is there something wrong?" He said, "This is the best pizza I've ever had in my life."
Aww.
So that was at 7:30 at night. I had been there since 7 in the morning.
Right.
That just took me 4 feet above the ground, and it was like a brand new day. That's the kind of reward that a guy gets in a restaurant business.
Awesome. That is awesome. I love that. I absolutely love that. And where can somebody check out Brix Pizza if they want to know more?
So you can go to brixwoodfiredpizza.com. And every one of our stores is just brix.pizza / whatever the location. So Oak Park, Naperville, Wheaton. But if you go to brixwoodfiredpizza.com, all the information's there for catering, for the trucks, our regular menu, online ordering, all that. And as new stores pop up, they all pop up in the app that we have, and they pop up on our map and all that. And it's
good for you.
And our master of technology handles all of that. It's me, so it's still me. So
shout out to me.
Yeah, shout out to me. All that stuff just magically pops up on the website. But it's all still there.
The owners just think this thing happens automatically, right? Yeah, I get it.
Is that all done? Yeah, that's done. I'm still the webmaster for now.
And thank you for coming to Oak Park.
Thanks for
I'm sure
having
I will
us.
see you guys around a lot.
Yeah,
and
I'm sure
thanks
you will.
again for coming on today. Best of luck.
We're going to take a
Thank
quick
you.
90-second break. When we come back, we got Liz and Jay next with Taste Straight Live.